Que no se le ve bien la cara.
Es que no le ve. Esta sí muestra un poquito.
Okay, that's right. We have another good one for you today. Another good interview. This time, drugged, robbed, and beaten. Follow along.
Hey, you watching, man, right now? You're watching dcbornrob on YouTube.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. My name is Rob Christian, also known as DC Born Rob, DC Rob. Rob, I answer to them all. Thank you guys for watching. If you ever get any benefit out of my videos, do me a favor, go down and hit the subscribe button, click the bell to be alerted of any new video, and like. Like helps the YouTube algorithm. The more you hit like, the more people get to see these videos. Simple as that. Again, I have a good video again today. This time, not only drugged and robbed, but drugged, robbed, beaten, stole his cell phone. Man, he had a rough night. But this time we're going to interview Ray. So stay tuned. This is why I do this, to let you guys know that anybody can get got. It does not matter. Don't say you can't get got. If you think you can't get got, you probably already have. Also, join me on social media. I'm now on Facebook. So I'm DC Born Rob YT on Facebook, DC Born Rob YT for YouTube on Facebook. So follow me there as well as the other social media. I drop things there sooner, especially in a private group. And Luis does a heck of a job in the group with putting up good content too. So follow us there as well. Let's just jump straight into the interview. Okay, guys, I've already set this up already. I told you I had another guest. This time I have a guest. And I know he's truthful. Well, I think all my guests are truthful, but after my last one, I wanted to put this out here. And as a matter of fact, I asked this gentleman, are you telling me the truth? And of course, he sent me a bunch of accompanying documents from the police report, from the Fiscalia, from the toxicology report, or from going to the hospital and the police. So I have all my documents in line. I have a special guest, like I said, his name is Ray. So Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rob. This is Ray from California. I wanted to tell a story of what happened to me last July in Medellin after I saw another story that you published from Mr. J. And I figured maybe you'd probably be interested. I think it's the story is something that is actually probably quite common in Medellin, and I'm telling that story because I want people who go there to be aware and know what's happening. So, like I said, I arrived to Medellin last July. 2021. I was waiting for all the COVID lockdowns to end. They had some protests after or during the COVID lockdowns, and it was just a mess. So I didn't want to be there during that time. I wanted to wait until this was all done. So July was a pretty good time to go. I decided I was going to spend about a month and a half over there. So, when I got there, I did some Tinder dates. The first week, everything went fine. Some of the Tinder dates were working girls. You got to sort through all that. But luckily, I didn't fall victim there, so everything was good. I heard before that some horror stories about people getting drugged off Tinder and all that. So I was able to navigate through all these bullets. So, I kind of knew what to expect. And so, anytime I go out, I'm not flashy. I don't wear any jewelry. I don't even wear a watch. But they could still tell I was a gringo. I was wearing a baseball cap. And, the moment I open my mouth with my below average Spanish, everybody knows I'm not from around there. So 1 week rolls out. So far, so good. I go out on Saturday. So, I got an Airbnb in Poblado, Provenza. It's pretty close to my place. So Saturday night, I decided I'm going to go to Provenza, meet some locals, experience the culture, meet some dateable chicas, and improve my Spanish. I wasn't carrying much cash, maybe about $20. It started raining around midnight. I kind of huddled under a roof, and as I saw people walking by, if I see like a cute chick, I just like talk to her or try to make small talk. So this one girl, she started talking to me. I mean, I reached out to her. She started talking to me. She presented herself as Natalia Madrid. And I'll give you a little bit more details on how come I know her full name later. Turned out she had another friend with her. Her name was Andrea Ruiz. So Natalia looked probably about 28, 30, 5'4", 5'5". Her friend that turned out, or so they presented themselves to be, Natalia Denise and Aunt Andrea. Natalia was about 28, 30. Andrea was probably about 40, maybe 44. Andrea was like below average looking. Natalia above average. Nothing special, dressed really casual, very friendly. So we chatted up for about 5 minutes. Then we decided we're going to cross the street and go have a drink at La Centro de Amigos, which is on Calle 8 and Carrera 35, which this is like right smack in the middle of Provenza. So we go in there. We start doing aguardientes shots. Aguardientes is a local drink. It tastes a little bit like ouzo. I'm not particularly fond of it, but since they offered, I was fine with it. So, and it has like 25-30% alcohol in it. It's pretty, I mean, you can drink quite a bit of it before you really get wasted. So they were drinking shots with me. I mean, we're all doing rounds of shots. We probably did like maybe 4 or 5 shots. We had maybe like a beer or two. And next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. The bar wants to close. We close the tab. And, I suggest, hey, let's go find another place to get some more drinks. And they're all down, but we don't know where to go. So at this point, Natalia, the younger one, she says she needs to use the restroom. So foolishly, I offer to go to my apartment, my Airbnb, with them both, use the restroom. Then we were planning to come back out and go get drinks somewhere else. My place was like a couple of blocks. It was like maybe 10-minute walk, really close. So we walk over there, go through security. It's an apartment building, so that apartment building had security at the front. They took their IDs, cedulas, took a picture of it. I didn't see the cedulas. I just let the security handle it. Everything went fine. We got in the elevator up to my apartment. I opened 3 beers, a beer for each. And that's what, about maybe like 3:15, 3:30 maybe. We have a few, we're checking on that beer. And from there on, I don't remember anything. So fast forward, what, about 9-10 hours? I wake up in my room to the sound of police coming into my apartment. So there's like 4 or 5 police coming in, speaking Spanish, telling me what happened, that I got robbed. They They give me like a bunch of paperwork for the Fiscalia, where to go, how to fill out a report, stuff like that. So then it starts dawning on me what actually went through all these like 5, 6, 7 hours. I reach out in my back pocket. I see a printout of a medical clinic. Basically had a list of all the procedures that they did on me. So basically I had stitches on my left eyebrow. My left eyebrow got busted. I got 2 black eyes, lacerations and scratches on my back, both knees, ankles, both elbows, back of the head, blood drops on my shirt and my pants. It literally looked like I was being dragged through the jungle by a dinosaur or something. And the worst part is I don't remember any of that. I don't remember anything about what happened. The only thing I remember was at some point, somebody asked for my phone. And I can barely remember, I was stepping out of a taxi and they're asking for my phone. I basically had no fear. I basically laughed in their face. So that's when they punched me, and I think I must have dropped my phone and they took it and, took off. That's the only thing I remember from these 7, 8 hours. So then I start going through my stuff and, I'm trying to find out what got stolen. So I had a work laptop. I was gone. My passport, I have a European passport and a US green card. Those were tucked into the drawer under my clothes with 300,000 pesos that were kind of sticking out of the passport because the pesos are longer than the size of the passport. The green card was there, California driver's license, 2 credit cards. This was all bundled together under the clothes. They found it and they just took it, put it in their pocket, whatever. So that was gone. Then I had an older iPhone that disappeared. I had AirPods. They were kind of old, so no big deal. That was gone too. The nice thing is they didn't find, I had about $2,000 on me. In the bedroom that they didn't find. And the reason they didn't find it was because I heard all the crazy stories before I got there. So I really hid that money really well. And thieves love cash. I wasn't worried about my passport. I wasn't worried about my green card because I knew these guys, or so I thought, these guys don't need that information, don't need that paperwork. But they took off with that too. Then I talked to the security downstairs. They showed me video footage of how I got literally dragged out of the apartment through security. I must have been really wasted, and that's not alcohol. Whatever they gave me, basically drugged me like that. I did some research because I wanted to find out what it may have been. I've heard a lot of stories about scopolamine, but it looks like they've given me something from the benzoid family. Like, for example, Xanax is from that family. So one of the effects of Xanax is it reduces your anxiety. And I know when this guy was asking for my phone, he wasn't asking, he was ordering for my phone. I pretty much laughed in his face. I was like, who the hell do you think you are? I'm not giving you my phone. Like, I didn't care. So that's what makes me think that's probably what they gave me. They gave me Xanax. I suppose they probably slipped it in my beer when I wasn't looking, or maybe since everybody had the same beer, maybe they put the Xanax in their beer and they swapped it out with my beer while I wasn't looking. So basically, it dragged me through security. These guys at the apartment building security guys, they're just useless. I mean, it was like looking at the security footage, it looked like I was pretty incapacitated. These guys didn't do anything. So anyway, going through security with flying colors, then I got put in a taxi, and I know that from the security because they had a security camera pointing out of the building, showing me going into that taxi. And the rest of it, the trajectory of where I was, I got that from Google Timeline because I have an Android phone and I turn on Google tracking. So got loaded on a taxi, then I can see in Google Timeline, we stopped in Laureles, and then going straight to El Centro at 5 a.m. in the morning. You know, 5 a.m. in the morning in El Centro is bad news. So I suppose these two criminals, they got dropped off in Laureles. They probably told him that I have the taxi driver, that I have a phone in my pocket. And maybe they were like, hey, here's the payment for the taxi ride. There is a phone in this guy's pocket. You just got to get it. So the guy drops me off in El Centro right in front of an electronics store. So looking at my Google timeline, I can see that the phone was sitting at that electronics store for about 4 hours. Then somebody took it and went to the flea market, which is like 4 or 5 minutes away from that store, right underneath the metro railroad above. There's like the whole flea marketplace looks pretty shady. There's probably everything in there. I mean, no, I don't know. A lot of the stuff is probably all stolen. Anyway, so then that clinic that I ended up at, that had the paperwork in my back pocket when I woke up, that clinic is about 3-4 blocks away from the place I got dropped off with the taxi. Now, I have never been to that clinic. I had no idea where that clinic is. So I don't know how I got to that clinic. Did I walk? Did people saw me bleeding on the street and they just threw me in a car and drove me to the clinic? I have no idea what happened. So, you know, I reviewed the paperwork from the clinic. You know, they cleaned all my wounds on my elbows, knees, back, everything. The stitches, I had a note to show up to the clinic in a week to remove the stitches, which I did. So, you know, after that, I pretty much had my work cut out for me. So I had no identification. I had like a Xerox copy of my passport, but that wasn't getting me very far. So first thing, I needed a new phone. I went out to one of the kiosks over there in Poblado. I bought the cheapest phone I could find, something for like $70, $80. Good thing I had this extra cash that they didn't find, because I was going to be pretty screwed without it. Then I had to call a bunch of numbers. I had to call the European Embassy in Bogota. Then I had to call the US Embassy, set up appointments, all this mess. I wanted to fly to Bogota from Medellin, but I don't have an ID, so they were not willing to let me fly to Bogota. So the only option I had was hop on a bus, and the bus ride was 10 hours each way. It's going up through the mountains, windy roads. I mean, this bus is going like 30, 40 miles an hour. It's a joke. So finally get to Bogota, go to my appointment. The European Embassy got me this sheet of paper, which is like a temporary ID that basically allows you to leave the country and go back to your country of birth or your country of residence, which in my case is the United States. So thankfully I got that with no issues. Then I run over to the US Embassy to get an appointment so I can get this document that allows me to board a plane for the United States. Now that was a little bit more time consuming. There was a little bit of miscommunication with the embassy, and next thing you know, it took me 4 weeks to get that document. So, you know, heading back to Medellin, another 10 hours by bus. And then I had to go back to Colombia for, I can't remember exactly what the timeline was, but I had to go to Bogota one more time by bus. And I flew out of Bogota, not Medellin, because my idea was I go to Bogota, pick up my paperwork. I don't want to be taking a bus back to Medellin. I'll just cancel my return flight from Medellin to California and just book another flight from Bogota to California, which is what I did. So, you know, I have a good thing that I filled out a police report, because when I was at the two embassies, they wanted to review that police report. And the crazy part is in the States, if something like that happens, police fill out the police report. I guess that's not how it is in Medellin. I mean, these guys are so useless. They won't even fill out a police report. So I had to go to the police station, right, the Fiscalia, fill out that paperwork, just, you know, information with my name and exactly what happened. And good thing I had a copy of that, because both embassies needed it. I mean, these guys, the police, they have, I gave them the security at the front of the building. They gave me the cedula ID of every one of those women, names, everything. I gave that to the police. There's no action on that case at all. So, I mean, I've dealt with police in the US. They're pretty much just as bad. So, when I came back, nice thing was I filed a renter's insurance claim. They were able to cover my material losses. But really, most of the money that I spent was trying to recuperate all that paperwork, passports, and all these other documents from, you know, the embassies. That cost me some hefty money, and I didn't get refunded for that from the renter's insurance company. But at least I got, you know, some money for losing. I couldn't claim the laptop because that was, you know, my work laptop, so I didn't pay for it. But like my phone and my AirPods and stuff like that. So that's the story. I also wanted to give some piece of advice from my experience. Being in Medellin, and just I've been to other places in Colombia too. I don't know if you want to interject here or you want me to go ahead with that.
Yeah, let me step, before you give the advice, let me just step through chronologically exactly what happened. So you were up at Lleras. Was this around midnight when you met them?
Yes, Provenza.
You were
not Lleras.
Yeah, just north. Okay, just north of Lleras, but you met them around midnight?
I met them around midnight, yes.
Okay, the two were together already.
Yep.
Okay, Andrea and Natalia. So yep. You just, I guess, hanging out with them, and you went to a bar, you had some aguardiente. I don't think that stuff is not strong. That stuff is strong to me. I didn't think it was Ouzo, but if you know the percentage, I hear you. But so you had a few drinks, and I just wanted everybody to know right off the bat, as soon as we've discussed this before in a few different videos, as soon as you hear, can my friend come? Can the two of us come? Can we invite another person over? Do you want to have a threesome? Anytime you hear any of that stuff, just assume the worst and run it. Like Rob at Sweet Georgia Cafe said, as soon as they come over and that second person comes over, it's over. It's a wrap. So I just wanted to put that part out there. So you hung out with them. One says she has to go to the bathroom. You say, well, most of the bars are closed, I guess, at 3 a.m. Well, some are still open, I'm sure. So, but you say, just walk to your place. By the way, you let me know after this how much I can show on screen. I want to at least show your timeline that you showed me on Google, where it shows you going from your hotel in Poblado, which is, you were like a block away from the Click Clack Hotel. If anybody knows that, on the otro lado, the other side of Calle Diaz Sur. So looks like it's about a block away from the Click Clack Hotel and a block away from 10 Sur, which is what, 3 blocks from Provenza, or 3 blocks from Mieres?
Yep.
You weren't there
Exactly.
far at all. So you went there, let her use the bathroom. Somehow they, and here's another thing that you drew attention to, that maybe they put it in their drink and switch the drink with you. So there's another way, so they don't have to get, spend time over your glass or your beer attempting to put something in it. It's already in there. So if one just gets you to look away for a quick minute, they can switch your drink and you'll never know. They were all 3 the same beers, I'm assuming. So easy to get them that way. So they I guess shortly after that, when you pulled out the drinks, you don't remember much after that. Then you leave. I've seen the video, and you let me know if you want to show the video or if you want to blank out your screen. I see you in the elevator with the 2 girls coming in. You were happy. You were happy going in. And then when you came out, they showed you, it's confirmed, the hotel, by the way, for anybody who challenges anything, the hotel is confirmed, or the Airbnb is confirmed, because the name is on the door and the name is on the your paperwork as well, and it's on the map. So you stumble your way out. As you walk out the door, your pants actually fall down. So either they took your belt or they popped it loose trying to take your stuff out of your pocket. But they already ripped you off from all your stuff while you were back in the place. So you lost your iPhone, your laptop, your work laptop. You lost a lot of money. They took your passport. They took, I guess they took all your IDs. Here's a question I had for you too. Did you say there was $2K USD you had hidden in the room?
Yes, sir.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, it didn't pick up on the whole thing. So you had 2,000. Don't tell us where you hid it. I won't tell you where I hide mine. And we had this discussion in the last one. There's places you can hide stuff that an average thief without a lot of time is going to find. You can hide stuff in your place. Just remember where you put it, because sometimes you may forget and leave some stuff behind. So if you hadn't had that, you would have been in a world of trouble. But then, so you get in a taxi, the video shows the taxi, you even have the tag from the taxi. Is that correct?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, like when you first start talking, the first half a second, it doesn't, I can't hear.
Yes, so the security also captured the license plate on the taxi, and I sent you the notes. In the notes, you can see, I think it says Plata or something like that. So it has the license plate on the taxi. I mean, you got the license plate on the taxi, you got these 2 women's ID number, and there's no resolution, there's nothing. I mean, admittedly, those IDs, those cedulas that these 2 women had could have been fake, could have been stolen. I mean, I'm trying to figure, why would they need my passport? So now that I think about it, maybe they sell it out to some other shyster that goes around with my ID and does criminal stuff and presents himself as me because maybe he looks like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, your ID, your passport shows not only identity, but also citizenship. So who knows? Somebody may be able to fly back to the States if they look halfway like you. They don't check out fingerprints at the border or anything, except Honduras.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it because when I got the new passport, the passport ID is different from the old passport. And I've always gotten, when I renew my passport, always got the same passport ID. So I think they have a way to freeze those IDs, and they're pretty much useless if you try to use them at airports or places where they do a little bit better checks. But you mentioned something that I wanted to just kind of make clear. When I met these two women, there was no talk about sex. There was no talk about relationship. For me, it was basically I'm hanging out with the niece and the aunt. I have to behave, PG-13. So did I like the niece? I did. She was cute. We did some flirting, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then my pants, yes, as I was walking out, my pants fell out. Those pants were kind of loose on me anyway. So like, I remember like when I went to Medellin, I wasn't really impressed with their food. So I was trying to figure out something to eat that I liked. And I probably lost a few pounds. So I remember just walking around with these pants. I always had to like kind of lift them up a little bit. So I think that's what happened.
Okay, so one thing I did an interview a few weeks ago with Manfred. He was drugged and robbed, but he had to go to Bogota. But one thing he said is because he had the police report, he was able to board a plane and fly. Did you try that, or is that true?
Did.
Not true?
I did try that. There is two airports in Medellin. One of them is kind of out of town. That's the international big one. And there is another one which is like literally on the other side of the river. You can bike to it if you want to. It's really close.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and I told them what happened. Then they brought in police, or I don't know, airport security, whatever. They were dressed in police uniform. I explained to them that I needed to go to Bogota. I showed them the police report or a copy of the police report, and they told me, sorry, you can't fly.
10-hour bus ride through the mountains.
So it's painful.
Not fun. So the money that you had, how long did it take you to have access to more money? Because even 2,000 USD, I think you had to stay at least a month, or did you leave and come back?
So here's what happened, right? These idiots, they stole whatever they could steal so remember, the older lady, she goes into my bedroom. I'm drinking beer with the younger one in the living room. We're drinking beer and we're chit-chatting. The young one is distracting me in the living room. I'm already drugged. I have no idea where I am. I'm sure they can tell. And the other one is just ransacking through the whole place in the bedroom. So, they found 2 credit cards that were also tucked in the passport. So later on, they tried to use those. They basically tried to do the max charge on them. So it was something like 1 million pesos, which was like $230 or something like that. I can't really remember the numbers. But anyway, I was able to reverse those later. I went online, I looked up my activity, and I just canceled them, disputed the payments. But I had $2,000. So I had a wallet in one pocket and a cell phone in the other. In my wallet, I had the minimal stuff because I know sorry for my French. Stuff happens there that you don't want to be walking around with your US driver's license. Like, you don't need it. I'm not driving a car. So I have a debit card in my pocket. I have a credit card. That's it. The other 2 credit cards are with the passport, which they stole. So I had enough money to, buy a phone. If I needed to pull money from my debit card, I was able to. Then I called my bank. I transferred some money because I have like 2 separate checking accounts. Transfer money from one account to the other and all that. So I was able to, patch up the situation financially. I didn't actually miss a beat. I mean, if they had taken my $2,000, it would have been an issue trying to, I think my bank would probably let me withdraw money, but the limits are low and I have to like go every day. Part of the reason I bring so much cash with me is because I don't like to deal with ATMs in other countries. First, I don't trust the ATMs. People put all kinds of stuff to rip off your information when you try to, get money and put your PIN number. The exchange rate, I don't know what exchange rate they're going to give me. I don't, once I step out the ATM, there might be a couple of guys waiting behind me, with a club. So all that stuff, like, it just all sounds like a rip off on every level to me. So usually I show up with a bunch of cash, I hide it really well. And then, every few days I take $100 or $200, go out, change it, keep some of it, in the room and some of it in my pocket. Does that make sense?
Okay. So you had to pay for hotel in Bogota. How long were you in Bogota?
So the first time I was in Bogota for 3 days, I think. So I go there with the bus. I get there. What time did I get? I get there about, I can't even remember, maybe like 3 p.m. And then go for the appointment at the European Embassy, get my temporary ID immediately, like within 30, 40 minutes. Then run to the US Embassy, set up an appointment. The appointment was in 2 days. So I was there on Wednesday. The appointment was on Friday. I knew somebody from Bogota, so I think I might have spent the day with them. I can't remember because I was there one more time, so the two memories kind of mixed together. So I think I was there for 2 days and then I headed back because I just didn't want to be in Bogota much. Besides, I'm already paying for a place in Medellin. I don't want to be paying an arm and a leg for a hotel in Bogota as well.
Okay. So back to the timeline, when you all three left your apartment, hopped in a taxi, we can see the timeline goes over to Laureles, comes back at 33, I think, and all the way back to El Centro. That's how you got scuffed and scraped up. So they just dumped you off. I guess they took your phone. You said you don't think it was scopolamine because you had this fearlessness at that point. So somebody said, "Hey, where you going or what you doing?" Or give me that phone. You were like, "F you, I ain't giving you nothing." So that's and so you have the spot, and we've seen the spot. I mapped it, and then I saw you had left a link for the map too, so you can see it. And if it's okay with you, I'll put it up here too. Where it went across town, came back, dropped you off. Did the police ever? Two things. Did the police ever investigate the taxi since they had the license tag? And did the police go to the place where your phone was last found, this electronic shop or whatever in El Centro?
So the last time I dealt with the police and I heard anything from the police was when I went to fill out the police report. Nothing. And in all honesty, I didn't reach out to them either. First of all, because, my Spanish is not very good. If I call them on the phone, it's probably going to be a nightmare trying to get any information. They're probably going to put you from one line to the next, put you on hold here and there. I just didn't have the time for this nonsense. And I knew, I was like 99% sure these guys were not going to get anything done. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I do these type of videos for people who got there is so that other people who come behind you have a little bit more knowledge. And basically for those, well, my question for you then, let me put it to you. What do you say to people that say it's not going to happen to me?
Well, just like your previous guests, I didn't think it was going to happen to me. I honestly thought these two women, they did not look suspicious at all. I mean, they did not look ratchet. They looked like just normal people. Like I said, the older one was maybe 40, 45, wearing braces. Typical Colombian girls, black, long hair. The young one was telling me that she's studying to be an orthodontist. Her dad was an orthodontist. Of course, I don't believe any of that stuff, but that's their.
Yeah, they're all in college or they're all students. Yeah, that's
their spiel. Exactly. Yeah. So
well,
what do I tell?
Are you sure that they're Colombianas, or could they be Venezuelan?
They could be Venezuelan, and actually, that's one thing about Venezuelans you gotta watch out for. They're usually more sketchy than the Colombians. Venezuelans are hella hungry. They're coming there so they can eat because they don't have anything to eat in Venezuela. So if you're hanging out with Venezuelan, that's an extra flag. I wouldn't call it a red flag because I met some Venezolanas during that time and I had no issue. But it's something definitely to look out for. And to all those that think it can't happen to them, I'll tell you, this is what's happening is an epidemic. It's an epidemic. It's no joke. Avoid Tinder. No, as I said in the beginning, I started with Tinder. I must say, I must have been lucky that a whole week meeting chicas, I didn't get in trouble. Everything was smooth sailing. But after that, I heard a ton of horror stories from expats in Medellin about Tinder. So avoid Tinder. If you want to have a good time, Parqueaderas, in my opinion and in my experience, is a pretty safe place. The girls there go there every day, and they're not gonna mug you, rob you, because that jeopardizes their business. They're in this street every day, and if somebody gets robbed, a gringo gets robbed, and he goes there the next day and she's there, she can't go there again because she's gonna get in trouble. So, from my experience, Parqueaderas, especially if you've been there every night and you kind of learn the regulars, I think it's a pretty safe. I would say it's more safe than going in Provenza and talking to random people. Even though Provenza is for Colombians to just hang out, and the local Colombians, they don't hang out at Parqueaderas, they hang out at Provenza. So if I got shut down at Provenza and I was good at Parqueaderas, that's something. Also, avoid online dating sites of all kinds. And if you really want to go on these sites, please make sure that you get their Facebook, Instagram profile, and review that info really well. And these criminals, they seem to really not like being asked for this. Usually, when they're shady and you ask them for that, they either vanish or they try to change the topic. And when you look at their profile, let's say you're looking at their Facebook profile, a few things to watch out for: the length of the profile, how long that profile has been open. Does she post regularly? Is the friends list visible or hidden? Are there a lot of men in her friends list and a few women? That's another red flag. And check that those friends are local and they're not from some faraway places like, Saudi Arabia or something like that. And an extra measure would be to go on some of those friends profiles and check them out too and see if they're not just fake profiles. Also, if you can ask her, hey, where is your mother on your friends list or family, so you can see some pictures with them. That is if you go through that and everything checks out well, I'm pretty certain you will be safe.
Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. And I know somebody else is going to say the same thing. This seems like a whole lot of work just to meet somebody, and just to find out that they're safe and you won't get robbed. I mean, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of investigating just to stay safe. I say, and if you watch my videos, I stay off the dating apps. Just learn Spanish, meet somebody, that way, because the gangs are using these apps to get you. And now without the vaccine requirement, we're coming in droves. Guys, Americans, Europeans are coming in, Canadians are coming in droves right now. And it's like fish in a barrel. So, can you meet somebody nice on Tinder? I'm sure you can. But what are the odds? I mean, if a revolver holds 6 shots and there's only 1 bullet in it, I mean, at some point, it's going to click your turn. So personally, I say, that's just me. Obviously, I'm older. And this is the question I have for you, too. How old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
You're in your 40s?
Yeah.
And you were there by yourself?
Yeah, I came by myself.
Okay. So here's someone telling you guys, and it's the same as the quote I get. The running quote is, nothing good happens in Parquejeras after 3 a.m. You weren't in Parquejeras. I guess you walked from Provenza. Now, for those who haven't been to Medellin, the difference between Parquejeras and Provenza is about 2.5 blocks. It's not far. I mean, really, if you walk them back streets, it's all the same thing to me. I mean, there may be some dividing line or one street you can say is Provenza, but Parquejeras is Parquejeras, but the complex of Parquejeras extends more than just the park itself. It goes within blocks around it. So between there and Provenza is about 2.5 blocks, 3 blocks max. And you're in what is considered Provenza. So I'm just putting that part out there. But would you say the same thing, that nothing good happens in Parquejeras? So let's say Poblado at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Well, honestly, I've been out a lot of times after 3 a.m. and I've had good things happen to me after 3 a.m. So I think I'm the wrong person to ask about this. I plan to go back to Medellin. So yeah, whatever happened is bad, and I'm not gonna, live in fear. That's just how I live my life. There is a danger every day in a person's life. So for some people, after 3 a.m., sure, nothing good can come out of it. But I'm a little bit more adventurous,
I get you. Well, you've had an adventure here, that's for sure. So, but I appreciate you sharing your story. Hopefully someone else gets benefit. And my idea of benefit is, let it be a warning that it can happen to you. And for all those, I'm going to say it again, for all those who say you can't get got, you probably already have. You just don't know it. Maybe you had some money sitting somewhere, you don't even know it's missing. Or somebody overcharged you, or somebody gringo price charged you. I mean, somebody got you at some point, so don't think you can't get got. But here's another story for you to put in the cap. And I appreciate you coming on, Ray. And you let me know afterwards how much I can put on the screen, at least the mapping, the show, and no names or anything like that. But any last advice before we jump off here?
Well, come with a crappy phone, leave that fancy iPhone back home. I saw a few people getting their iPhones stolen right in front of me. And I think you've already talked about that before. They know how to do this. They have, let's say, there'll be like 2 girls standing behind you. You're just hanging out. on the side of the street. The first one reaches in, grabs your phone, hands it off immediately to the one behind her, and the one behind her just walks off. So you turn around and you're like, hey, you just stole my phone. And she's like, no, I don't have my phone. I don't have your phone. Look. So yeah, when you have a crappy phone, you're not a big target. If you bring an iPhone, you're asking for trouble. Also, you know, getting her phone number doesn't mean jack. I can walk up to a kiosk, buy a SIM card for $5, put it in my phone. Next thing you know, I got a new phone number. So just because you have her phone number doesn't mean you know anything about her.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. If you can't find her the next day, she knows you can't find her the next day. And you saw old girl get in the elevator. She was covering up her face with a hood or something she had wrapped around. The other girl had a face mask, but one of them, I guess you said the older one, was cinching it up. So they know what they're doing. These are professionals. They do it for a living. And you go down there and not you, but others go down and you go down your party and you are not as aware, let's say, before you started drinking. Even one drink doesn't get me drunk. 2 drinks don't get me drunk. 3 drinks don't get me drunk. But a half of a drink changes who I am. It changes who you are. It alters your perception. So be careful out there, guys. And that's why I do these videos again. So, but Ray, man, I appreciate you coming on. Let's jump off now. Unless you had something else you want to throw in, I appreciate your time.
No, I think we covered everything. Yeah, so all I gotta say is stay safe. And again, it's an epidemic. It's not something that happens randomly, occasionally. It happens often. Watch out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, there you go. I'll end it there, Ray. Everybody, like you said, be safe.
So I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you go down and hit subscribe. And definitely like. It helps that YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying?
Join me on social media. I am dcbornrob official on Instagram. I am dcbornrob official 1 on TikTok. I am dcbornrob O on Twitter. Don't be like this guy right here.
You're just so stupid. I had to send you a video to let you know that you're so stupid.
That's right. Don't be like this guy right here. Join me on social media.
We have a YouTube channel, like it!
Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.